Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Full-Time Devils FA Cup semi-final preview. We are absolutely live. I'm joined by Howson, Mac and Statman Dave. Let's get straight into it, guys. Is this death or glory? Consider what happens if Mourinho wins the FA Cup and comes second, or if it's a completely trophyless season. Is everything on this semi-final? Dave, you can go first. You look psyched.
Yeah, I think there's a lot on this semi-final. It's similar to last season with the Europa League. Everything was on the Europa League, but Mourinho really pulled out a performance. You know, the likes of Marouane Fellaini got some real good effort there. And it kind of is. You know, the Champions League was very disappointing. We obviously spoke about that so many times, so we don't want to revisit that. Second in the league is a massive improvement as well. So you combine that with the FA Cup, that'll be a good little season. I think Mourinho has sort of been playing for this Chelsea final since, January? You know, getting in Conte's head. He knew that Conte may be the guy that he's facing at Wembley for the FA Cup. And I think that's potentially why he started that debate. But it is huge for Manchester United. It'll be big momentum for next season. Few signings, then a title challenge will really be on.
Okay, Adam, what if we don't win?
I don't think it makes a difference in the grand scheme of things. I think it will to the fans. But I think in terms of Jose Mourinho, and where he's planning on taking the team, I don't think it will make a difference. I don't think it will make much of a difference with the board either. I mean, we saw with Louis van Gaal in his final season at the club, he won the FA Cup, but he didn't get top four Champions League football, and as a result, he got sacked. So I think even if we weren't to get through to the final and win it, or even if we get knocked out of the semi-final, whatever, I don't think that affects Jose Mourinho's standing as Manchester United manager. Because the club will look at it as a financial decision, a business decision, and ultimately we're in the Champions League, and that's what it comes down to for them. And also, when you do sit back and you look at it, even if you look at it with a critical eye and you weigh up the good and the bad things about Jose Mourinho, he has improved the team. It may not be as much progression as we wanted. It may not have been the title challenge we wanted yet, but he has improved the team. And that will keep him in a job. We've gone from 6th to 2nd, and I think that is the big difference for what the board will look at, and what level-headed fans will look at. I don't think the FA Cup will really swing things in terms of him keeping his job. But as fans, we want to win it, man. Especially this isn't one of those things, you go to games, you don't, but especially those that go to games, like following the club all season. It's been an up and down season. We've had some awful moments, but if we can win the cup at the end of it, at least it gives us something to go out with a bang.
Adam, you gave me a nice opportunity for a plug there. All four of us are going to be at the game on Saturday, and we'll be filming it, and we'll have what's the word I'm looking for?
We're not filming the game.
No, we're going to film our journey. So we're going to be there, all the reactions, all the stuff happening. So you can find that afterwards on Saturday. Hopefully, it'll be really, really good. Howson, could a cup win galvanise this squad and potential future signings coming into maybe a team lifted by a trophy win, put us on a great stead for next season, or is this nothing?
Going back to what you just said, it will be a really interesting vlog because we don't even know how we're getting there yet. So that's going to make it shenanigans. And that's seriously. It's not death, it's not glory. It's something in between, and that's the problem, really, isn't it?
Life.
And it's sad that it's come to this because the FA Cup when I was growing up was mint, and it changed with the importance that Champions League football sort of took over, being better than winning the FA Cup. And whether we like that, whether we agree with that or not, that's the reality that we're in. But winning is what football and sport, as a whole, should always be about. The opportunity to win a trophy, right? The league is your bread and butter, right? One team gets to win that. There's another team gets to win the FA Cup. There's another team gets to win the League Cup. There's obviously differing importance placed on all these competitions for obvious reasons, but it's winning a trophy. If you're not in sport to win trophies, what are you in there for? I don't like the words that's coming out of Pochettino, which is why I don't like people touting him up as a potential Manchester United manager, talking about doesn't care if he wins this cup. Now, people are slagging Mourinho off left, right and centre. Mourinho come here and said, I want to win everything. That's what it should be about. You should say, I want to win a throw-in, I want to win the coin toss at the start of the game, I want to win everything. And that mentality is why Jose Mourinho is a winner and Pochettino is not a winner. And I think, like Adam mentioned earlier, the progression is obvious. But Jose Mourinho is a man with a fork trying to eat a bowl of soup. He can only do what he can do with the materials that's at his disposal. We're not a good enough team at the moment. On paper, this Spurs team's better than us in virtually every department apart from goalkeeper. So I think Mourinho's doing wonderful things with this team. It's not pretty, but the progression's there. And I would rather have progression and have a team that's challenging and getting up there than be talking about pretty football the way Spurs and Liverpool and even Arsenal to a degree stroke themselves off about playing pretty football. We don't win as many things as Manchester United have done under Jose Mourinho and may do under Jose Mourinho this season.
Surprisingly level-headed. Okay, let's move on. Clobber Kane. Is Harry Kane the best forward in the world at the moment? What do we do to stop him? How do we deal with him? Dave?
I wouldn't even say he's the best forward in the Premier League this season. I think that goes to Mo Salah over at Liverpool, unfortunately. But I think the thing with Harry Kane is he's a wonderful talent, and he's not just a goal scorer, and that's the big thing. If you want to stop Spurs, you've got to stop Harry Kane. I think you've got to be aggressive with him. You've got to make it a very horrible game for him. When he's good is when he gets on the ball and he gets turned and he can look for that. You look at the assist he got against Manchester City, or he created the goal for Christian Eriksen. Again, it was dropping off, pulling wide, playing a through ball for those runners, and that's why Spurs are so good. It's that intricate play. It's running in behind from midfield, and it's not just about his goals. But all we know about Harry Kane is he can finish from any angle, any position, head, foot, volley, chest, and he will be a danger. The good thing for Manchester United is he had that injury, and he still doesn't look quite right. He didn't look very sort of on form against City. He looked a bit dodgy against Brighton. So again, maybe Man United are playing Tottenham at a good time. He missed the game at Old Trafford with injury, may miss this game as well, or not be too 100% fit. So it's kind of good for United, but it is about being physical. Chris Smalling, Eric Bailly, one of them needs to take authority there. I think in the Manchester derby with Sterling through the middle caused so much problem in that first half because Bailly and Smalling, they didn't really talk and communicate. Second half, Smalling was just man-marking him, getting tight, getting aggressive, and that's what they need to do as a pairing. One of them needs to go, right, I'm going to deal with Harry Kane, you're going to deal with the runners, and it's about being smart, I think, for the United back two.
Okay, nice. Adam, how do you feel Harry Kane's impact could affect the game? Should we be concerned about him, or is he just another cog in the machine?
First of all, I just got to address some of these comments here.
Please.
These dicks. Wow.
Maybe not.
I love him, but Anyway, these guys in the comments saying, I've been so down since the West Brom game. I need to get behind the team. Listen, I have been down since the West Brom game. That game killed me inside. But when I get to a game, when I get to a match, when I go inside, I'm still as deluded as ever, and I think we're going to win everything. So I'm still behind the team, even if I'm a little bit sad. So just shut up. Anyway, Harry Kane, I think he's lost a lot of goodwill with people and with a lot of neutrals. I counted myself as a neutral with Harry Kane. I don't really like Spurs, but I felt like I liked him. I wanted him to succeed. I wanted him to do well, and I thought he'd be someone that could go on and kill it abroad as well, maybe at Real Madrid or something. But with him claiming that goal that never was, I kind of feel like F Harry Kane. He's still a very, very good striker. He's still a very, very good striker. I still think is the best in the Premier League. Dave, when you said best strikers at Liverpool, did you mean Firmino? Because Salah's not a striker.
Yeah, but he's a forward. That's what Sam said, a forward. A forward is different to a centre forward.
See,
he's a forward.
If you stick him at, I think Harry Kane's the best number 9 in the league, and I thought he has to be. How is he? Who's better than him?
Big Romelu Lukaku, mate.
Not yet. I think Rom's definitely has the ability to be better than him, and I think he'll go on to win more things and all that. But I think right now Harry Kane is the striker, and I think if United had him last season, even this season, going further to winning the league, I think it's unfair to say he's not the best in the league or not up there. Am I worried about him? He's never really torn it up against Manchester United. Now he'll probably go and score a hat-trick, now that I've said. But we generally do quite well with him. I remember Daley Blind having a very good game against him once at centre-half. And Smalling, for as rash as he is sometimes, aerially, he is okay. And I feel like when they try and get the ball into Harry Kane's feet, into Harry Kane's chest, Smalling's a bit of a nuisance, and he does all right with Harry Kane. I still don't think he should be starting for Man United, though.
Smalling. Okay, Howson. You celebrated?
No. Listen, Harry Kane is not the best striker in the Premier League. Harry Kane is one of the most proficient and the highest scoring strikers in the Premier League, but he's not the best. Harry Kane has a nearly double the amount of shots that Lukaku has taken. If Harry Kane had been in this United side, taken the same amount of shots that Lukaku had, the conversion rate of Harry Kane's like 14%. It's woeful. He'd have ended up with 11 goals this season if he was in this United team.
No, it's the way Spurs play.
No. Here's the fact. United don't create a lot of chances. Lukaku's feeding on scraps, and he's going to have over 30 goals this season. Bro. If Lukaku would have had the chances that Harry Kane had, Lukaku would have been on a goal a game. Simple as that.
That's true. Lukaku would have had more goals if we created more chances for him, and I think Lukaku's been let down by the chances we've created. But Harry Kane can do some things that other strikers can't do. Have you seen some of the goals he scores from out wide, from outside the box, whipping them into far corners and all that stuff? The man
do you get 2 goals if you score a spectacular goal? No, it doesn't matter if it's a 5-yard tap-in or a 25-yard screamer.
The man's a fucking
goals are goals.
Striker, bro. Harry Kane, I find it bizarre to say he's
Listen, he's not that good a striker.
He is.
His all-round play is better than Lukaku's.
Wrong. Right, okay. Ram plays better. He's got 2 assists.
I love Ram, but like Harry Kane.
Come to me with some proof then, Adam, because Lukaku gets more assists than him. He gets less chances and he converts more. So how is Harry Kane better?
Look how Harry Kane played against Man United. The intelligence in bringing, he won so many free kicks for them.
Yeah, he had 8 shots.
It's all okay.
Wasteful, mate. In a big game, you need to take chances.
Everything is going to be okay.
Chances out of 2 chances against Liverpool. Clinical. Harry Kane had
both good
against Man United.
Should we just
both
good at football?
Player and a killer
both
striker.
Good at kicking the goals.
He's the biggest myth in the world, and he's got a
both good. Right, shut up. I gave you an opportunity. I tried to do it politely. Stop talking. It really doesn't matter. Salah's going to win the Golden Boot anyway, so it doesn't actually matter. I didn't ask. Can you please argue needlessly over who is better, Lukaku or Kane? Because ultimately it's subjective to the individual's personal opinions on what creates a centre forward. So it doesn't matter because that recipe is different to the individual. So we can't do it. This is what I'd like now. I'm going to just calm down while we have a quick advert possibly. Good. Love that. Good product. Now, going to look at some comments and then we'll do the teams. You ready for this? Comment 1 from Josh. The FA Cup is good. Why do people keep slagging it off? After the Premier League and Champions League, it's the biggest trophy. Yes.
Europa League's the biggest trophy.
Paul. LDV Van. What was the Vans one? LDV Vans?
Intertoto Cup.
Paul Lucas. It's better to have some trophies than to have an empty trophy cabinet. It's just a cupboard, then, isn't it? It's not a trophy cabinet if there's nothing in it. Revo, can't we have both? Sexy football and wins. Guys, can we have sexy football and wins?
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Sex and football and win.
Adam's soliciting on the channel. If you're interested, he's got a Twitter account. His DMs are open. Andrew says, me nerves for this game. I'd play a defensive team, then bring on Marshall and Rashford to blitz them in the last half hour. Hopefully their defence will be tired. Lol. Anybody agree with that plan?
Lol, I agree with that.
Okay. And Coco says, we get a defence that Mourinho can be confident with. We will see that attacking football we want. That's a common theme, is the issue behind our play sometimes that Mourinho doesn't trust the defenders, so puts extra defensive work on the attackers? Is that possible? Anyone?
No, he just hates attacking.
Such
quite famously. He just hates anyone that attacks.
Still got the records in the Liga, doesn't he? For most points accrued and most goals scored, I think. Suggest some.
Where are we going with this show today?
Daniel says Rashford will have better numbers in England than Kane. Willie, not if he keeps playing on the wing. Daniel thinks Rashford will get better numbers in England than Kane.
I think, well, that's if Harry Kane leaves and goes to someone like Real Madrid. Then, Rashford looks like he wants to stay at United for a long time. So that could happen.
But also, Rashford is playing out wide. He's not playing as number 9.
Yeah, but you think his development will take him there?
Yeah, you would have thought so. I am Kieran. I personally think Sanchez is nothing compared to Marshall or Rashford. Why is he playing?
True that.
But nothing compared to them.
Agenda.
Gonna be honest.
Is that my comment?
No, that was I am Kieran. Mills, it's sad to say, but every time we need to turn up, we do. Why is that
What?
sad to say?
No, we don't.
It's sad to
true.
say, but every time we
Against
need to
Sevilla.
turn up, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Turn up against
Famously
the
turned up
Dragons.
against Sevilla home and away.
yeah, well, it's hard to say he's completely right. I think maybe he's just thinking
Crazy
about
that we went
like
into 2 games
we
against
beat
Sevilla.
City. We did it then. Maybe it's that. I don't know.
Nah.
Not getting a lot back from these guys there, Mills. Sorry about that. Right, starting 11s. Adam is winning with 198 points. Statman Dave has 164 in second. And Howson has 60. He's in fifth. Howson, do you want to go first? What is your starting 11?
I think United need to play a 4-3-3, mate. I think we need to pack the midfield. 2-man in midfield against Tottenham's going to just get completely overrun, like it did last time we came to Wembley. On this, why is it played at Wembley for starters? Because when Old Trafford was a venue for the semi-finals, United was never allowed to be drawn there. So how is it even possible that Spurs can be drawn there?
You know why, though?
London.
And you know why Mourinho hasn't mentioned it?
I know why. They're paying over it. They're paying out Wembley. That's
But why no one from United has mentioned it is because if they lose, you know the first thing, well, actually, if we lose, the first thing Mourinho will say is, well, the home team won. Congratulations to the home team. He's got it in his top pocket for if things go wrong.
Ready to drop a bomb.
Yeah.
So, 4-3-3 it needs to be from United.
Don't say that
We need to pack the
word.
midfield.
Don't get arrested.
We need to be strong in there. We do need to hit Spurs on the counter. They do like to flood forward. We've got to get it in the channels. We've got to turn them around. So, for that reason, I was going to start with the attack there, but it's not going to. The graphic's going to go the other way around, isn't it? So, back four, Valencia, Bailly, Smalling, and Young. Not by choice, just because that's who Jose is going to choose. Midfield 3 of Herrera. I thought he was fantastic against Bournemouth. That kind of bite will be really needed. He needs to really start niggling at Dele Alli and Eriksen. I think Dele Alli, you could make him flash, make him do something stupid. Matic and Pogba rounding out the 3. And then up front, Lingard, Rashford, and Romelu Lukaku. Lingard for movement, link-up play. Rashford for trying to get in behind him, turn him round. I thought his movement and Jesse's movement actually against Bournemouth was brilliant. I know Rashford played the full 90 minutes, but I just think he's got a sneaky top pocket thing there that he's going to keep Rashford as a surprise starter because pace can kill. Big pitch at Wembley, get the ball in behind him, get that Spurs defence turned round, and let's really go for him.
Okay, Adam, what are you doing?
I'm just in the comments. What's going on?
Get out the comments. Get your head in the game. What is your starting lineup?
One sec, let me get it. I sent it via email to that producer Chris, the big knob. One sec. Everybody hashtag sack producer Chris. The team news I'm saying, because I'm always right. This is the team tomorrow. David De Gea in net.
Insight.
Valencia, Smalling, Bailly and Young. Matic, Herrera, Pogba, Alexis, Lukaku, and Lingard. If it was my choice, it would be Rashford or Marshall in Alexis's place. But it's not my choice. It's Jose's, isn't it?
It is. He's a manager. Statman Dave.
I think I've gone for exactly the same team as Steve. David De Gea in goal, Valencia, Bailly, Smalling, Young. Matic, Herrera, Pogba, and then Lingard, Lukaku, Rashford. I think that team is the best geared to beating this Tottenham team. I think in midfield you need 3 in there 100%. So City sort of really bullied Spurs in midfield. They overloaded them 3v2 with Christian Eriksen playing as a number 10, didn't really get involved. So I think that's where United need to go. You see what United did away at Wembley when they lost 0. It was a 2-man sort of holding midfield pair in Pogba and Matic. The space behind Paul Pogba that was exposed was so big. That's why you need a 3. In terms of the front 3, why I go with Alexis over, Rashford over Alexis is just the width. When Rashford plays on that left wing, he plays like a winger where he stays wide and he listens to the instructions of Mourinho to stay wide, get the ball wide, isolate the fullback. And for Spurs, that's what you want to do. You want to open them up. You want to make those 2 defensive midfielders do a hell lot of running from left to right. And having someone like Rashford on one side and Lingard on the other, as well, providing width on that right. Lingard likes to drift inside, but again, he should be instructed to stay wide. It's going to create loads of opportunities for United on the counter-attack, and we've got to be honest with ourselves. You've got to play this team on the counter-attack. You can't be playing through them. You can't be looking to get on the ball in deep areas because they'll nick it high and they'll transition really quickly. It's all about playing long, like City did. You look at the City game, they won 3-1. The first goal was Vincent Kompany playing a long ball up to Gabriel Jesus or a long passing behind the defence, and he scored from it. That's what United need to do. There's no it's not bad for United to do that. You can't look at yourself and be like, oh, that was rubbish. You've got to do that against the Spurs team, because if they catch you on the ball, they'll score a goal. It's as simple as that. You've got to be direct, and you've got to look to Lukaku's feet, to his head, to his chest. But with that width and the midfielders and Ander Herrera, who Howson said was brilliant against Bournemouth, I completely agree with him. I think that can give United the win.
Okay, nice. Let's talk about Tottenham. We're trying not to get stuck on Harry Kane, but Eriksen, Son, they've got a lot of good players. Who are we worried about? Is anybody looking at their team thinking, well, they might cause us problems? Adam?
Son always scores. He's scoring a lot of goals this season, isn't it? How much is he on, Dave? Son, he must be on at least 20, isn't it?
Kane's on 25.
No, all comps.
Come.
I thought you were a Statman. Shut up.
2 goals, mate.
God's
2 goals.
Sake, such a fraud, Dave. I like Son. I think Son's very good. But Christian Eriksen, man, I just want someone to do him quick time early, get stuck into him, because
are you soliciting again?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be block 138. Come find me. But no, they're very, very good. Christian Eriksen I like him, but they hit us very early last time, and they went direct in both their goal. Well, their first goal was very, very direct, and that's what pisses me off when we play against these teams, the Tottenhams, the Manchester Cities. We kind of get everything tactically correct, and then fall asleep at the stupid things. So, the 2 goals we conceded against them was one route one, and Phil Jones messing up when he misjudged the cross and he went with his wrong foot. Against Manchester City this season, 3 of their 4 goals have been from set pieces. Against Manchester City, they score most of their goals from open play. And it's frustrating that we go into some of these bigger games and the lapses in concentration will affect us, rather because we will be very well organised. That's what Jose Mourinho does. But going forward, I believe we can get at them. They haven't been in great form. I think Manchester City the other week, a Manchester City side that were going into the game without much confidence after their last couple of games, and they created so many chances. Now, we're not going to play the way that they play. The way our goal came against them was from Romelu Lukaku dropping deep. Romelu Lukaku absolutely terrorised Vertonghen that day, I think it was, and he was winning everything in the air. His flick on found Martial, wasn't it? And Martial scored. So that could be one way, getting Romelu Lukaku in that one-on-one battle with Vertonghen. And if he wins that, we could get a lot over the top for the likes of Sanchez, Lingard, Marshall, Rashford, whoever starts as well. But we all know about their best players, man. That's it.
Dave, anyone he hasn't mentioned?
It was Alderweireld that Lukaku pulled onto. It was on the right side of their defence. But, the point is still valid. It's not going to be Vertonghen, it would be Davinson Sanchez that United need to target. He's a wonderful player and will be one of the best centre-halves in the world, but he's still a little bit young and a little bit inexperienced. City kind of targeted him with sort of Gabriel Jesus pulling onto him and then running through the middle and then hitting those long balls over the top. But there was also some movement where Gabriel Jesus would drop and they play a quick bit of interchange and they'd be behind Davinson Sanchez, isolating the 3 players behind. It's one of these things where United, again, like I mentioned before, it's all about being direct against them, but it's dealing with their pressure. That's the big thing, because they're so good. Dele Alli's been playing on the left wing the last few games. It's an interesting move, and Christian Eriksen's gone to number 10. So it's a little bit different. You're not dealing with a second striker in a central area. You're dealing with a second striker that's going to start out wide, then move inside. But that means that Nemanja Matic has got to be on his game against Christian Eriksen, because if you let Christian Eriksen into a game, whether he can dictate, whether he can score from range, that'll be a big, big worry for Manchester United. And I agree, Son this season has been brilliant, but recently Lamella's been getting the starting berth, which is a bit weird from Pochettino. And I find Lamella so inconsistent when he's got the ball. I'd rather see Lamella starting than Son, because Son is so good on the dribble, can take you either way. He's more of a direct player than Lamella, who sometimes just fluffs his lines, makes bad decisions. I think Son is coming to that part of his career where everything is coming off for him when he tries it. So I'd rather see Lamella than Son. But I kind of agree. Dembele's another one. Dembele gets so much praise from from people that watch Premier League football. Oh, he's so underrated, he's so this, he's so that. Quite frankly, now he's overrated because people think that he's better than he actually is. He has, he's had a few good games this season, but you take the Man City game. Man City consistently caught him on his blind side. They press him from an angle that he wasn't watching for, and they nick the ball high. That's what United need to do on Dembele. Dembele's had so many good games against United. This needs to be the game where someone like Pogba, someone like Ander Herrera just takes the game to him and destroys him, because it's one of these things where he's in this elevated position now where United just needs to put some pressure on him, and it's simple as that.
Okay, Howson, you've been quiet for a while. Please join in.
Oh my God, he has.
Hey, Ander Herrera. Ander Herrera is going to be the key to whichever one of their playmakers we decide is the most of a threat to us, be that Son, be that Eriksen. You put Ander Herrera on him, and the guy's going nowhere. He's going to get locked up, put in a box, and kicked to the side of the pitch. That's what United need to do. We need to make, and I'm sure Jose Mourinho's got a plan for it. As Dave mentioned, Davinson Sanchez, I think there's a mistake in him. I think he is a good footballer, but I definitely think there's a mistake, whether that's a concentration thing or an experience thing. We saw in the Europa League final, he was the one that we wanted to have the ball. He was the one that we wanted to be making decisions. And he was the one that United targeted, and he was the reason that United ended up coming away with that trophy in the end. We did a good job with our tactics. Now, I know that United have been trying different formations ahead of the game tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to seeing some fluidity from United. And I'm looking forward to seeing United really take the game to Tottenham and be another Mourinho masterclass. And United are going to Wembley again for another FA Cup final.
Brilliant.
20th it will be.
Well, that'll be nice. Predictions then.
20
Dave,
times.
what do you think?
Times.
As I said yesterday on the Full-Time Devils takeover of Excess Manchester, check it out every Thursday. The podcast will be back next week. Man United, 1-0 win. Jess Lingard at the Jess Lingard Arena.
Nice. Howson?
1-0 United, park the bus, hit them on the break, and do give us a shit, boil as much piss as possible, and go and win another FA Cup after we beat Chelsea.
Doesn't matter what the football's like when you're at Wembley, because we're going to be smashed to bits. As long as we win, it's all good. Going to be wavy. But this is what's going to happen. Tony Marshall, off the bench, 1-0, madness in the stands. United are going to Wembley again.
All right, well, that sounds lovely.
Tony Marshall scores again, bitches.
As I mentioned it, we're going to be recording everything that we do on our travels and the experience of the game, so you can find all that. There'll be loads of pre-match content and loads of content after the game, all the fan cams and stuff. Basically, there's going to be loads on Full-Time Devils around the FA Cup semi-final. These are the guys' predictions. You've heard those. Let us know what you think. Get it in the comments below. And until Saturday afternoon... Yeah, go on.
What do you think?
What do I think of what?
Let's think of a question. This whole Pogba thing, what's going down?
Oh, I have no idea.
Say something, man.
Well, I don't know. It doesn't seem the most settled, but equally plays well against Bournemouth, mostly. So I don't know. We'll see, I suppose, won't we? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, Adam.
Just failed me.
There's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes, isn't there? We'll see. Interesting stuff happening with Mino Raiola, because apparently Lukaku's moving to Rock Nation. I don't know.
Apparently that's not true.
That's exactly it. How much can anybody know?
It's just for commercial stuff. It's not for his transfer stuff.
Further
so Mino Raiola lives
how difficult it is to truly understand what is happening. I just don't know. Anyway, we'll see you all after the final, semi-final.
420 blaze it.